SSJ is presented by Walker Medical Linen Services, locally owned and operated, and HLAC certified to the highest standards. Walker has partnerships with hospitals, surgery centers, and medical clinics in and around the metro area. Walker Medical Linen Services in Kansas City and online at walkermls.com.
Commander Eagles. Eckler to the right of Daniels, Robinson to the left. It's a 1st and goal at the 1. Shotgun, Daniels, handoff, Robinson trying to slice it inside. They push him in. Touchdown, Commanders. Brotherly shove for Philadelphia, tight formation. Hurts carries, Hurts is in. Touchdown, Eagles. Philadelphia takes the lead. Early stages, 4th quarter. The running backs did the work. The quarterback gets the glory.
They're going to line up to go for this. I don't think they're going for it. I think this is a hard count, and if they don't get it, they'll kick the field goal.
They were on the wrong end of the hard count last week against Russell Wilson and the Steelers. 4th down and 2. They are going to go for it. Daniels running to the right. Daniels gets hit on the sideline and brought down. And Washington turns it over on downs. 2 receivers to the right, A.J. Brown by himself to the left. Flanking Hurts to his left is Barkley. Shotgun formation, handoff, Barkley running right. He's got a hold to the 20, 15, cuts it to the 10, down the sideline, touchdown! Barkley goes the distance! 23 yards for the score! And the Eagles get the pad that they were looking for. 18-10 Philly. Barkley, shake and bake move, cuts it up the middle to the 30, to the 20, he's gone! Goodbye, Barkley! Touchdown, Eagles! Good night!
Chiefs. Pirine is the back. Here they go, 4th and goal. Gray, the tight end. Mahomes, caught for the touchdown. There it is! The all-time Chiefs leading touchdown receiver. From Mahomes. That will give you something to sing about. Look out! Down he goes, Najee Johnson. Coming off the back end, off the corner. 17-yard loss. Back to the 20. Nix is down.
Johnson comes off the corner. You see McDuffie come off of one side and Johnson blitzing off the other. Every single game, Steve Spagnuolo comes up with some different blitz packages. He's shown blitzing off of one slot or the other. That time he brings a double.
35-yard field goal less. Fraboni the snap, Riley the hold, Lutz the kick to win it. Oh! Blocked! The Chiefs have won! The Chiefs have won!
Listen, this quarterback is, there aren't enough superlatives to say for the extent of my knowledge in words is not good enough to do him justice, because he's tough. And then they put a back there that can run it. I mean, we've got to continue to play the run well, and then it's all the other stuff. But what they add to it is the quarterback can run, and he runs like a fullback. It's not doing this, and he can. So we know what we're in for. We've gone against him quite a bit, but a lot of respect for him, and we got our work cut out for us.
I completely enjoyed playing in Buffalo. They got the best wings. They really do. They have some of the best wings I ever tasted or built. And their fan base, very similar to ours. Very in tune, very passionate about their teams. So we know when we go up there, it's not only the Bills we're playing the fans also. So it makes that game more interesting and exciting to know that we're going to go in that type of atmosphere that's similar to our home crowd.
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Stephen St. John here with producer Jake Gutierrez. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Friday, November 15th, 2024. And the headliner, no doubt about it this weekend, the Kansas City Chiefs had the Buffalo Bills. We're going to talk a lot about that. We also got some very, very intriguing college football matchups that we're going to talk about. Great high school football action tonight. You've got Mizzou, big underdogs on the road at South Carolina, 3:15 on SEC Network. South Carolina, terrific front seven. Lots of NFL talent. Mizzou trying to ride the momentum of that comeback victory over Oklahoma last week. The spread's up to 14. South Carolina favored by 14. Kansas State, they got a big game. And because of some huge upsets the past couple of weeks in the Big 12, it's opened the door for a few teams. One of them is Arizona State. They're 7-2 and 4-2 in the conference, just like K-State. So a battle of two 7-2, 4-2 teams at Bill Snyder Family Stadium in Manhattan, 6 o'clock on ESPN. I love it because the local schools are staggered, right? 3:15 for Mizzou, 6 o'clock for K-State. The line in that game, K-State's favored by 7.5. And then your nightcap, 9:15 p.m. on ESPN and right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, Kansas at number 6 BYU, undefeated. Kansas looking to ride their momentum off that big win at Arrowhead over Iowa State. BYU only favored now by 2.5. BYU favored by 2.5. BYU is 9-0, 6-0 in the Big 12, number 6 in the nation, and they are at home for a night game, and they're only favored by 2.5 over a 3-6 Kansas team. If we didn't pay attention, if we weren't in Kansas City watching these teams and watching Kansas, wouldn't you be like, if you're somewhere else looking at that, like,
what the hell?
Who?
Right.
How many players does BYU have hurt? You know, you wouldn't have any idea. But you also, if you don't watch Kansas football, wouldn't know how talented they are, how good their quarterback is when he's not turning the football over, how good their coach is, and how close all these losses they've had are, and how impressive they looked against a good Iowa State team last week.
I mean, that's probably the number you put on it at the beginning of the season. But before the season starts, you're like,
before the season starts, I got Kansas as a favorite.
Going there as a favorite.
BYU wasn't BYU was supposed to finish 13th.
Right.
Going into this thing, and KU was supposed to finish in the top 4 or 5.
So it was backwards even.
Yeah, I would probably said KU's going in there 4 or 5 point favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, before the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you got that on Saturday, and then on Sunday, Chiefs and Bills. That's all you need. Last night, Eagles. The Eagles defense is good.
Yeah, man.
That's the best team in their division. That's to me. They are the biggest challenger to Detroit. Not everyone keeps saying San Francisco, and I get that. But and look, the Philadelphia offense didn't play well in the first half, but then Jalen Hurts got it going. He got the run game going. They've got a lot of wonderful weapons between Saquon Barkley and A.J. Brown now that he's healthy, and Devontae Smith's underappreciated.
Yeah. Goddard.
Yeah, but again, that wild card of Jalen Hurts being able to run the football, and they got a salty defense.
Yeah, I mean they turned that defense around quick.
So, and they're right on Detroit's ass. They're 8-2 now.
Yeah,
and that was a big win for them last night. Philly over Washington, and so that stood out to me. You have to really talk now about Philadelphia being in contention for that 1 seed. If Detroit ended up slipping up, and I still think Detroit's the best team. But Philadelphia last night they win 26-18. It was 26-10, and then Washington scored a late touchdown and 2-point conversion. But Philadelphia was clearly the better team. So that's your football weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. Tonight, huge games all over the place. The school that my kids go to, that I went to, St. Pius X High School, is going to Platte County. Platte County's undefeated. St. Pius only has 1 loss. They lost their opening game to Rockers. That's they've been looking for this game and talking about this game for weeks, months, years. So that's going to be incredible. But let me tell you something. And look, for a while, I misjudged the popularity of this event. And I'm a boxing guy. I've had more people over the past couple of days ask me either, hey, where are you watching the Tyson fight? Hey, who's going to win this Tyson-Paul fight? Hey, is this a real fight? Hey, is this scripted? Hey, what do you think of this? It's making my head spin. When I was at career day at St. Pius, a bunch of the kids were asking me about that. Well, the Jake Paul factor. And guess what? Everyone knows who Mike Tyson is. It's dads versus sons in this thing. All right? Although, if you raised your kid right, you want Tyson to knock out Jake Paul. Question 1, how do you watch it? It's not pay-per-view. It's Netflix. If you have a Netflix subscription, you can watch the fight. Question number 2, who else is fighting? There's some good fights. Mario Barrios is an entertaining Mexican fighter. He's featured on the card. But let me tell you, and don't get this twisted at all, because I don't want you to miss it. If you like good fights, if you like action, and trust me, my guy Jake loves action.
Loves it.
I know it.
Loves it.
For a fact.
Need it.
Well,
I need it.
Do you?
Yeah. Keeps me going.
All right then. Well, if that's what you need, if you're an adrenaline junkie, then I got something for you. All right?
I'm all ears.
The co-main event is a women's fight. It's a rematch between Katie Taylor from Ireland and Amanda Serrano. And let me tell you something. That first fight arguably was the best women's boxing match I've ever seen. And for people that follow boxing, it got votes for Fight of the Year, women or men. It was incredible. Katie Taylor is one of the most popular sports figures in Ireland. And she defends her undisputed light welterweight crown in a rematch against Amanda Serrano in the co-main event tonight. She beat Serrano in a split decision victory in 2022 that a lot of people thought Serrano won. Wildly entertaining, unbelievable punch output. And here I'm reading from BBC.com. Jake gets a lot of his news from the BBC. The previous meeting is widely regarded as the greatest female fight of all time. So that's the BBC saying that. And Jake trusts the BBC. Trust me on that one.
I do.
And so I'm just telling you. And it's one of those things. They're both great fighters. Katie Taylor's a super duper star in Ireland. Amanda Serrano's wildly popular in Puerto Rico and with Puerto Rican fight fans. You hear me saying that styles make fights. Their styles are made for each other. Made for each other. And they throw hella punches. And they got great chins. And it's just if you've ever trusted me on something, the Tyson and Jake Paul might end up being a farce. Who knows? But what I can tell you is the co-main event between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, that'll be worth the price of admission, which is a Netflix subscription. It'll be out of sight. You'll sit there and just clap. All right, it'll be great. You know, you will marvel at the punch output. Okay. So that said, if you're skeptical of how worthwhile this fight's going to be, the co-main event between Taylor and Serrano will be worth your time as a sports fan. Now, the other thing that people have asked me, what's the situation with the actual rules and everything, right? This fight is sanctioned by the Texas Athletic Commission, the boxing commission down there, which has been known to be corrupt and have horrific judging and officiating. So let me put that in there. But the fact that it's sanctioned means that this counts on Mike Tyson's professional record. It's sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. And you're asking me, are there any special rules? Here's what you got to know. They will wear 14-ounce gloves instead of the standard 10-ounce gloves for heavyweight fights. What does that mean? That means that takes away a little bit of the power. The lighter the gloves, like if you have no gloves, crack someone, knock them out in one punch. All right? The bigger the gloves, just think about wearing pillows. The bigger the pillows, the bigger the gloves, right? The less power. And on top of that, the more weight you got on your hands, right? It's a little bit harder it'll affect your speed a little bit. Also, bigger gloves, what can you do, Jake? You got a little bit more padding there, better defense. More glove to utilize to cover up. So 14-ounce gloves instead of 10-ounce gloves. 3-minute rounds normally in men's professional boxing. 2-minute rounds for this fight, which is significant, which I would say favors, if it's a real fight, and they say it is, and I still don't know what to tell you, but if it is a true fight, that favors Tyson, because I almost cussed. He's effing 58 years old. And so 2-minute rounds instead of 3-minute rounds. And then on top of that, it's not 12 rounds, it's not 10 rounds, it's 8 rounds. So if you're looking for a prop bet, maybe going the distance is a little bit more reasonable with 2-minute rounds and only 8 rounds. If you were talking about 3-minute rounds in a 12-round fight, I'd say, they ain't gonna make it to the end. All right, 2-minute rounds in an 8-round fight. Now the last question: is this a real fight? I don't know. Tony Holden, who was Randy Carver's promoter, who was a good friend of mine, his son Bryce is one of the main promoters for this fight. Tony Holden's been on Facebook swearing up and down, this is a real fight. Don't anyone question it. My son's one of the promoters. This is a real fight. I don't know what to tell you. The money they're making is real. Okay? But there have been real fights in real boxing that have been fixed. So, for me to sit here and tell you, no, it's a real fight, I don't know. Nothing would shock me. They're taking bets on it. It better be real.
Right. That's the thing.
Okay? Tyson's 58 years old. I'm 51. And sometimes it's a 10-round fight for me to get out of bed in the morning. And I feel like someone's beat my ass. Okay? He looks in tremendous shape,
amazing.
But he's 58.
He looks amazing.
Okay? But at the end of his career, he was getting his ass whipped by C-level fighters. Okay? But also, Jake Paul could punch him, and Tyson could snap. You want to know why? Tyson snapped in an undisputed heavyweight championship fight against Evander Holyfield. Tyson snapped against Francois Botha and tried to break his arm. Tyson tries to bite ears. Tyson tries to attack officials, and he's attacked state troopers in the ring. So if you're going to tell me that you can predict what that man's going to do, if some guy like Jake Paul is pushing his buttons and hits him behind the head one time or hits him with an elbow or something, I don't know what to tell you. Because he's 58 years old, and for 58 years, ain't nobody been able to predict what Mike Tyson's going to do next. Not even Mike Tyson. So, all that said, watch it. Guess what? And if it is scripted, me and Jake like watching WrestleMania and WWE. That's scripted, and we're highly entertained by it.
It's still real.
Yeah. It's still real to Jake.
It is
It'll
still
always
real.
be real to Jake.
It's real.
Right.
It's scripted, but it's real.
Yeah. Like the Serrano-Taylor fight, great fight. That's good enough to be a main event. That'll be worth your time. Tyson Paul, I'm going to watch it.
I'm locked in.
Everyone's going to watch it. I don't know what it is. I don't want anyone to say, St. John says that. St. John doesn't know. I just gave you the parameters.
He laid it out for you.
I laid it out for you. Now, what I hope, because I'm an old man.
Right.
I hope the old guy knocks the young guy out.
Me too.
And I've met Mike Tyson. I've met Jake Paul at the Super Bowl when the Chiefs played the 49ers the first time. I get it. Jake Paul has actually been good for boxing. He's brought attention to it. He's brought a lot of money to it. And on top of that, there's something that I've talked about this women's fight. He's taking the best fight in women's boxing and giving them a platform and giving them a showcase and a spotlight that they would not get anywhere else. And so for that, he should be credited, because these two ladies who are going to go out there and just throw freaking bombs right in this fight are going to be seen by more eyeballs than they would in any other, platform or any other venue. So credit to him for that. Watch it. We'll all watch it together and figure it out. But I will tell you this, on the stage last night, when you see Tyson slap Jake Paul, go look at the replay. Jake Paul, wearing shoes, stepped on Mike Tyson's foot, who was wearing just socks, and Tyson got pissed off and slapped him. And let me tell you, if you don't think that was real, go to one of Mike Tyson's appearances and step on his foot. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, 95% chance he's going to slap you. So there you go. There's your Friday night. We'll take a break. Before we hit stand, we're going to play an interview. Somehow they thought it was a good idea to send a young teenage reporter to ask Mike Tyson a question last night. Mike gave this young reporter some real talk. We'll hear that, and then we'll talk to Stan Weber after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Well, in your return to the ring for this fight, you are setting a monumental opportunity for kids my age to see the legend Mike Tyson in the ring for the first time. So after such a successful career, what type of legacy would you like to leave behind when it's all said and done?
Man, I don't know. I don't believe in the word legacy. I just think that's another word for ego. Legacy doesn't mean nothing. That's just some word everybody grabbed onto. Someone said that word and everyone grabbed on the word, so now it's used every 5 seconds. It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm going to die, and it's going to be over. Who cares about legacy after that? What a big ego. So I'm going to die. I want people to think that I'm this, I'm great. No, we're nothing. We're just dead. We're dust. Absolutely nothing. Our legacy is nothing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That is something that I have not heard before, someone saying that as an answer.
Can you really imagine somebody say, I want my legacy to be this way when I get dead? Why do you want to play? You think somebody really wants to think about you? What's the audacity? I think, I want people to think about me when I'm gone. Who the fuck cares about me when I'm gone? For my kids, maybe, my grandkids.
True.
Welcome back to the show. Okay, so we're going to play something that's really tickled Jake. Let me try to set this up. It went viral last night, so if you're on social media, you've seen it. If not, this is an interview conducted by Jazzy's World TV. And it's a 14-year-old girl named Jazzy who travels around and does interviews with celebrities. We've seen this before, you know. Oh, look how cute. Look at this.
Yeah,
Young kids doing interviews.
You see at the Super Bowl, the Nickelodeon will send.
She's been at the Super Bowl.
Right.
She's interviewed, you know, I'm looking at the long list of celebrities here, right? So she gets credentialed. And so she had a chance to ask Mike Tyson a few questions. I don't know on paper if it's presented to me and says, hey, we have a 14-year-old reporter that wants to ask Mike Tyson a question the day before a fight. I'm like, you know, I think we might pass on this one. But I think that this short one question and answer should turn into like real talk for kids with Mike Tyson. Kids ask questions and Mike Tyson delivers the only how he can deliver an answer. So here is 14-year-old I Am Jazzy, Jazzy's World TV, asking Mike Tyson a question about his big fight tonight against Jake Paul.
Well, in your return to the ring for this fight, you are setting a monumental opportunity for kids my age to see the legend Mike Tyson in the ring for the first time. So after such a successful career, what type of legacy would you like to leave behind when it's all said and done?
Well, I don't know. I don't believe in the word legacy. I just think that's another word for ego. Legacy doesn't mean nothing. That's just some word everybody grabbed onto. Someone said that word and everyone grabbed on the word, so now it's used every 5 seconds. It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm going to die, and it's going to be over. Who cares about legacy after that? What a big ego. So I'm going to die. I want people to think that I'm this, I'm great. No, we're nothing. We're just dead. We're dust. We're absolutely nothing. Our legacy is nothing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That is something that I have not heard before, someone say that as an answer.
Can you really imagine somebody say, I want my legacy to be this way when you're dead? Why do you want somebody you think somebody really wants to think about you? What's the audacity? I think, I want people to think about me when I'm gone. Who the cares about me when I'm gone? Well, my kids, maybe, or grandkids. Who the cares?
First of all, she did a wonderful job of handling the interview with a reply, well, that's something I've never heard before. So, real talk with Uncle Mike.
You're dead. You're dust.
Hey, Mike laid it out for her, didn't he?
He did.
Jake, your thoughts on legacy with Mike Tyson?
Well, I mean, I respect that. I mean, that's real. That's real talk with Mike Tyson. I mean, there's authenticity about him that, you know.
Any other questions for Uncle Mike there?
No. So you don't believe in afterlife, Mike?
It got real fast. I don't believe in it. I'm gonna die and I'm dead.
It's
I'm
just
dust.
ego. I mean, that's.
I thought, honestly, away from the humor of that's how he answered a 14-year-old's question, I thought you'd actually say, you know what? All right.
I get it. It's like, why do you're not taking anything into the grave with you? I mean, it's like we run around this world worrying about all this stuff.
That's right. See?
And you're not taking any of it with you. So I get what he's saying about legacy.
Was it not real talk with Mike Tyson?
It was. I enjoyed it. I
Am Jazzy did a good job also. Wow, well, thank you. Never heard that before.
Right.
I would hope not, but that's fine. You know, she's used to getting some bubbly answers and things like that. Oh, no. Mike wasn't in the mood to placate a teenage reporter.
It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm going to die, and it's going to be over.
All right, then.
Who cares about legacy after that? What a big ego. So I'm going to die. I want people to think that I'm this, I'm great. No, we're nothing. We're just dead. We're dust.
Thank you,
we're
Mike.
absolutely nothing. Our legacy is nothing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That is something that I have not heard before, someone say that.
She did a great job.
Well,
I don't know if I would have handled it that well.
Well, that's something I've not heard before.
I would have been so sad. I would have been so depressing. Oh, really? Let's take a break. We'll talk to Stan Weber after this on WHB. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ. The voice is better than it was yesterday, but now it's starting to. I tried to not talk very much, but I had to talk a lot at career day. I had a pretty good response by the kids. I had a lot of fun. Thank you to St. Pius X High School for inviting me to career day, and hopefully they'll have me back.
Good for you for giving back.
It was a lot of fun. That meant a lot to me to be out there to talk to those kids.
I know it did. I know it absolutely did.
And for a while, no one would talk to me. And then for a while, my daughter was like, she comes in there, she goes, "You didn't tell me you were going to be here today." I said, "I told you like 6 or 7 times, but every time you were buried in your phone." But yes, here I am. But it meant a lot to me to be there. So hopefully they have me back next year. And thank you and Todd for.
Absolutely.
People were very complimentary. There's several fire members of the KCMO fire department. By the way, there were like 2 tables down from me, and they got full gear and everything else the kids can try on, and all this great stuff. And my friend Chris, who I graduated from Pius with, she's over there, recruiting for the police academy with all kind of cool stuff and everything. And here I am, like with an iPad.
Some media credentials out?
Yeah, I've got some. This is my media credential. This is my microphone. And I do like a 50-picture slideshow. This is when I interviewed Patrick Mahomes. And they like that. But, I didn't have full gear like they were going to go, be a hero and fight a fire.
But you got stories.
I wanted to go to the.
You want to go try on the fire gear?
Can I do that? Yeah. I wanted to go over there to the other tables. That's fine. I still had some people that were interested. Now let's say hello to Stan Weber. Stan, good morning. How are you?
I am doing great, Stephen. I am here at my new home away from home. My in-laws lived in Manhattan. The whole time I've known my wife, even in college and throughout my whole life. When I come to Manhattan, people say, "Hey, how would you like to stay over at my house? You don't want to drive home late, do you?" And I go, "Oh, I got a place." Because my in-laws, and in their basement there were 3 bedrooms, the greatest TV area, work area, bathroom, everything. It's like my own condo there or something. Well, they are selling their house. So my new home is a Bluemont Hotel now. So I'm at 1212 Bluemont. It was appropriate because my number throughout my whole life has been number 12. My kids play with number 12. So right here across the street is the College of Business and University, and today I am the chair of the Accounting Advisory Council, so we're having our annual meeting. I needed to be in Manhattan, and right across the street's Asheville, and all kinds of fun activities for people. For me, that means a lot of TVs to watch games whenever I'm available. So I had a game that started at 8 o'clock last night in Manhattan with K-State basketball against LSU. So I just stayed here. This is where I stay now. So if you ever want to come here for business or you want to find out the best place to hang out in Manhattan, if you're a visitor, it is the Bluemont Hotel. It's been great to be my new home. So I am here ready for a few nights stay and a lot of sports and a little academic work as well. So I can't wait. What a weekend of football we're getting ready for our locals and the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, are you talking about each of the 3 college teams and the Chiefs have giant games. So it's going to be fun, November football.
And also, Stan, in our community, a gigantic game between one-loss St. Pius X and undefeated Platte County for the district championship.
You've been talking about that for weeks. I
Yep.
keep asking you every week, and you said, wait till this game. Wait
Right.
till this game.
That's
and it's
right.
here.
That's exactly right. Now, Stan, I do want to start off with basketball because you're going to need to walk me through something because I saw all kinds of videos and reaction and people mad on social media. And so I just want to set this up. You mentioned you called the game in Manhattan between LSU and K-State. LSU won 76-65, but it was the return of former K-State Wildcat Cam Carter, who now plays for LSU, and that's just how it is now. A lot of players played for 2 and 3 teams now in their careers, and he received a very warm welcome, a standing ovation from the K-State crowd, which I thought was classy. In his return, he ends up scoring 20 points and playing very well in the game. And then I saw a video of late in the game, Coleman Hawkins kind of giving him a body check. And now I'm looking at a video of Cam Carter and Coleman Hawkins yelling at each other and having to be separated after Carter ran to taunt some K-State fans after the post-game handshake, and Coleman Hawkins didn't like that very much, so he went out there and got after Cam Carter. It looked like a wild scene, and I know you're busy broadcasting a game, but what can you tell us about what happened from your perspective?
Well, fortunately, they were kept apart the whole time. So whatever happened verbally, the video that you see will probably explain it more, or maybe some people heard it. I have been doing third-tier TV games for K-State on ESPN+, so I've been sitting not at half court, but just a little bit closer to the entrance and exit for the tunnel. And so I could have been in perfect position to see everything that went on, except for this game I was on radio all the way down at the other end. So it's a little bit of a stretch for me to see what was going on down there. But I did see that Cam Carter, for instance, was yelling and talking or whatever. And I don't know who he was pointing at or talking to, but a big old LSU person on the staff had picked him up like he was a little kid and started walking him away. So I could see that he was not close to anything. It's just so weird that it happened because, like you said, the start of the game, I had not heard any talk about planning on honoring Cam Carter at all. There was no video to say thank you for what he did as a part of the Elite Eight team and playing for the Cats last year and the last 2 years he played for K-State. The crowd just organically started standing up and cheering. He was the fifth guy introduced for LSU, and the crowd went crazy. It was great respect. So that's how the whole night played out. Everything was fine, but with less than a minute left, there was a play where the ball was just kind of being dribbled near half court. The game was over, and LSU was going to win. They played great, and all of a sudden, Cam Carter came running toward half court like he was cutting to get the ball, and all of a sudden Coleman Hawkins and he ran into each other, very hard, but they ran into each other side by side almost like a car wreck, an accident, it looked like. And there was a foul called, and the foul was called against Cam Carter. So they went to the other end, and those two guys are right in front of me, and they were talking, and I couldn't tell if they were upset or they were just talking. I just couldn't tell. They were right in front of me. They were guarding each other, waiting for the ball to be thrown in, but nothing happened. Cam Carter ended up walking one direction, and the Wildcats player went the other. So they weren't close together. Game over. I mean, it was just a few seconds. Game was over. Handshake line started, and then it jumps to what you talked about. And I didn't see at all, from my chair, I couldn't see Coleman Hawkins doing anything where he was in that sequence. But I did see Cam Carter get picked up and carried back toward the tunnel. Later, because I stay a long time, we do a postgame about 45 minutes. Cam Carter was out still in uniform for a long time, a half hour or more after the game, smiling and talking to all kinds of people. So I can tell you that the end result was there wasn't anything more or there wasn't a heated attitude at all. Cam Carter was acting like he knew everybody around and having a good time at the end, and took forever to get into the shower. So that it was like a 3-minute segment of time, and when the game was almost over, that something happened. But fortunately, I don't think anything physically happened other than kind of two guys ran into each other like a car wreck.
Oh, good. I'm glad it was no more than that. But, yeah, I'm looking at the video. Like you said, thankfully, coaches and other players got between them because it did look like Coleman Hawkins was not very happy, and neither was Cam Carter. And so that they prevented something from escalating from there. But just overall, like I said, Cam Carter with a good performance, and LSU played well. Any other thoughts on the actual game itself?
Well, from a K-State perspective, it was very disappointing. Sold-out crowd. K-State fans really excited about playing someone from a Power 4 conference. The second year of a contract with LSU, K-State went there and won by double digits last year. Oh, by the way, Cam Carter was a star player. He grew up 40 miles away from Baton Rouge, so he ended up going back home last year and helping K-State. But this game was all LSU from about the 10-minute mark of the first half on. They separated, and they did it by just attacking the offensive glass. Cam Carter didn't score early. K-State's defense was marking him well, Stephen. But then when he got a chance to get open just a little bit, he was smooth, aggressive, and played awesome basketball. He led everybody with 20 points, was 3 of 6 from behind the arc. So he delivered in a big way for LSU, but everybody on their team delivered. And what was crazy is the supporting cast that they had was a big story. They out-rebounded K-State. That's the number one thing in headlines. Out-rebounding K-State 43-25 really is the game. But the second factor that K-State couldn't overcome was the supplemental players, the guys that you would not expect to be a big factor. There's a guy, Corey Chest, Stephen, that comes off the bench and only played in one of their 2 first games, played only 3 minutes. He has not been in the rotation at all. He comes out and is 2 of 4 from the field for 5 points and had 13 rebounds. And then a freshman, Victorious Miller, steps up. He has not been a giant factor in the rotation, and he has 15 points and is 2 of 4 from behind the arc. So those 2 guys who you wouldn't even feature at all in the pregame discussions when we went into the game, we talked about a lot of things LSU could do, but I didn't expect 20 points and 16 rebounds from those 2 guys combined. So LSU played great. K-State did not rebound the basketball, did not shoot the ball particularly well. And so a lot of questions as they head on to the next game. But LSU really deserves a lot of credit for winning the game. From a K-State perspective, you're putting a brand-new team together. I think everybody in the country is pretty familiar with that, other than maybe KU. And we know KU's got a lot of their guys back, like Hunter Dickinson, and a point guard that's been allowed to be what do you get? You know, I'm in an academic institution here. We'll have to ask Jake about this, but I think the point guard has tenure. Means that they can do whatever they want. Forget the NCAA rules. Just play for 15, 20 years running the KU show. So KU is one of the few teams that has their players that are kind of constant and coming back. Everyone else is learning about each other, and that's definitely happening with K-State right now.
That's on the Stephen St. John plan, because it took me, I graduated in six long years, and so
the rule probably is if you're in school, you should be able to play, right, Stephen? I mean, forget eligibility in NCAA. If you go to school and you're still working toward that degree in that 6 years, why don't you get to play the whole time?
I had a couple of red shirts,
All right.
Jake,
and look at you now. Now you're teaching the classes.
Did you redshirt, Jake?
I had a medical redshirt my freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Because of your knee?
Yep, because my knee. But then I had it taken off because the backup goalie wasn't very good. And we made the conference tournament, and my coach said, I'm pulling your red shirt. Hopefully you won't have to play, but if something happens...
What did your mom think about that?
Oh, my mom was always on the side of any authority.
So she was good with yanking the red shirt that late?
Well, I didn't have to play.
Oh, okay.
So it was only emergency. I would have lost it if I would have played.
Okay.
But it was emergency use only because we were in the semifinals and then finals for a shot at the NCAA tournament. So he didn't want it to come down to a backup goalie that was not capable. So my freshman year, I traveled to the conference tournament at Valparaiso, but we lost in the finals. So,
wow. Yeah. But you were there if they needed him. Right?
Yep. Right.
If they needed you, you were there.
But yes, I did. I had a medical red shirt.
All right, Stan. We will we'll break and then we'll get into football. We've got a lot of good football to talk about. 3 big games for the local schools tomorrow, and then just a gigantic game between the Chiefs and the Bills and some other really good games around the NFL. What a football weekend. We've got Stan Weber, who called the game last night between K-State and LSU in basketball. So he's joining us from Manhattan, and we'll talk football for the next hour with Stan Weber right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Day with SSJ is presented by Walker Medical Linen Services, locally owned and operated. HLAC certified to the highest medical laundry standards. Walker has partnerships with hospitals, surgery centers, and medical clinics in and around the metro area. Walker Medical Linen Services in Kansas City and online at walkermls.com.